Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Guy's Place. And today we're going to take a look at the original Super Nintendo controller and a cheap USB PC gaming knockoff. And quite honestly, I'm surprised with this. But why am I making this video? I had the idea when I saw this. The Nintendo logo embossed or carved or whatever onto the plastic rather than the Super Nintendo logo printed, as well as the select and start not being printed in darker gray. Rather, it's raised lettering. I thought it was kind of weird, and I thought, is this a fake? I mean, well, the connector is real enough, and it works perfectly fine. It feels really good. Look at that. There's nothing wrong with it. Granted, it's secondhand, but it's perfectly fine. Even the legit yellowing indicates this is, like a 90s controller. We're going to open it up real soon, and we're going to compare these two circuits and see what's going on. Let's take a look at the external areas right now. So basically, when you take the D-pad here on the original, it feels really good, smooth. I feel like I can pull off as many Hadoukens and Shoryukens and whatever as I want, and there's no harm in any aspect of the D-pad, which is one of the most brilliant controllers in the history of video games. This D-pad is patented by Nintendo, and it's one of the best video game D-pads to this day. And this feels a little weird. There's something off about it. And when we open it, you'll see why. I've already taken a gander inside. And honestly, it's a little weird. I don't know what it is. I'm not gonna say it's slow to respond. It's more like it's tougher than it should be. But it's not because of the hardware inside. There's something with this piece, and you'll see soon enough. The buttons are fine on the this old Super Nintendo control pad, YXBA. When you press them, their response is excellent. The buttons don't stick at all. I didn't have to clean anything inside, and but it comes up immediately without feeling like it's sticky. This, on the other hand, is totally like, oh man, it's just it's frustrating. Because you press it, but it takes twice as long for this to go down and up than this to go down and up. So if you're doing those Street Fighter 2 moves like Chun-Li's kick, or God forbid you do it on the shoulder button, I'll compare them soon enough, or Blanca's electric thing, or Honda's, well, forget it. It's real. I mean, it's fine. These work fine, but when we get to the L and R, they're really clicky and sticky. It's weird. It feels like it's not going to come up too soon. Whereas this one is fine. So yeah, that's really good. Feels perfectly fine in here. It's really, really rough to get it going. Now, aesthetics, aside from the logo, and this is completely missing, it's all right. Then we take a look at the start and select buttons. You can see the font is clearly an original, official Nintendo font, Super Nintendo font. Is the select and start buttons. Whereas here, yeah, it's raised lettering, but it's totally not the same font. It's some weird, cheaper knockoff, I suppose. And yeah, as far as these buttons go, these don't stick at all. These feel really hard and firm. And these, there you go. I just act like I don't even try, and it sticks. Yeah, sometimes it pops up, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, luckily right now it's popping up. It's so annoying. Yeah, there you go. It's terrible. But don't get me wrong, this works. It's just, it's not the same thing. In the back, we see that this model was actually used, the mold for this print was actually used to cut costs. So they would get this made all over the world, Nintendo of America, Japan, Europe, And they would have the, here you'd have the, I don't know if you can see, yeah you can. You have the Famicom logo, and here's the US logo. They figure they'd save extra production costs by just having everything all in one, not make a different print for this or mold. Made in China, whereas here I can only make an educated guess that this is absolutely made in China. Also, yeah, I already popped this cherry, and there was a sticker here with just a clockwise numbers, and yeah, clockwise numbers. I was going to say counter, but there was a year, I think it was 2018 or 19. I can't really tell. I couldn't really tell. It was already kind of faded because I've had this for about a month. Yeah, what happened? I bought this because I saw it in the store, and I thought, hey, it's kind of cheap. I'll buy it. Why not? Yeah, stores. Remember those? So let's open these two up and see what's going on. Let's check out the guts. Now, I'm not sure if this controller has been opened in the past 25 years. There's a sticker here, but it offered no resistance when I opened it. So I don't know if somebody ran their finger through here and cut it, or if it had already been opened, but I saw no signs whatsoever of foul play or any sort of modification. So I'm assuming the sticker's just crap, and I just ripped it without even noticing. Before I take this cover off, let's do it side by side. Let's get this one ready too. Spoiler alert, I know this is totally legit. So I went online and checked out, why does this controller have an embossed Nintendo logo, whereas I've only always seen the printed Super Nintendo logo. And then I went online, and some people found these for sale at like a garage sale, and whatever, sometimes with the box intact. Oh, here's the difference already. The screw is way smaller, so they were cutting costs, I guess. Because the mold is identical, but the screw for the Super Nintendo is way longer than this screw. So online, it turns out that a lot of people think it's fake. Oh, it's got the embossed, like a carved out Nintendo logo. It's fake. Like a lot of people just like straight out calling it fake, and I was like, that can't be right. Because if this is a fake, my God, man, like put it in a museum. Like you could forge the friggin' Mona Lisa. You know what I mean? Like it's so well done. Like I held this controller. I've played it for a few days, and it's there's no way it's a fake. So I did a little more research, and it turns out that, like I mentioned before, these are sold separately from the Super Nintendo. I've already got this one. Okay. So just to tell you that if you're worried, if you have one of these and you're worried, oh man, I read online that it's fake, whatever, it's not, man. Just look at the back. If it's like this, can you see? Yeah. If it's like this, then you're good, because it's got the the model number. It should be made in China. It should also have the Super Famicom logo and so forth. Take a look at that. So let's get started with the dissection. Okay, this really feels flimsy. Like this L button, the L shoulder button is already coming out. I don't want to stay here. Well, whatever, fall out, see if I care. So this is the cheap one. This is the real thing. This is the real thing. You'll notice that there's like a chip right here. Of course, you gotta consider that this is a USB connector, and this is a proprietary Super Nintendo sort of connection. I forgot what these type of connections are called, but that's what it is, and it's and wow, yeah, the weight is all in the plastic. Like this plastic weighs so much more than this. Like I'd say, well, this one not so much, but I know that I checked this one out, the front one, and the difference is uncanny. Like here in the front, it's just half the weight of this one. It's super light. I wonder if I haven't tried out the, what do you call it? The Super Nintendo Mini yet. I heard there are differences in the plastic. I heard that it might be a little lighter, but I don't know. So we check out the circuitry. Everything is sturdy here. This is a 25 to 30 year old piece of hardware, and it seems absolutely fine. Granted, I dusted a little bit of the insides on the D-pad, but ultimately it's perfectly intact. They copied the little snaky here. I mean, the mold is exactly the same. It's absolutely the same. So I gotta hand it to them, you know. Ooh, interesting. What do we have here? This part right here is different. See that? What is this? Why isn't it here? Interesting. I'm fascinated by these tiny little differences. I mean, they have the same mold, but it's not the same. Same, but different. Same, but okay. So let's get this board out. Cool. Look at the finesse. Whoa. Look at the finesse. I love this. Copyright 1992, Nintendo Company Limited. This seems perfectly, absolutely legit. The lettering is perfect. Yeah, I love how there's a chip in the controller. That's so cool. And the soldering is impeccable, like a robot did it. I don't know if they already had automated soldering back in 90 whatever. But that's what it seems like. It seems absolutely flawless. And here's something interesting. It says 1997 right here below the B button. I don't know what that's about. Is that when this was manufactured? Since this is a model 102, I would guess that it's a probability. And these shoulder buttons are soldered on just fine. Yeah, I got nothing bad to say about this. I love this. Mitsumi. Yep. Totally cool. Let's take a look at this piece of hardware now, the D-pad. Nintendo's D-pad has always been the classiest. And they kept that class. They were smart about it. They didn't try to innovate. They didn't try to reinvent the wheel. Here it is. This is the absolute best D-pad in history, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, come back. And this is really cool, and I'll tell you why. There's this ball right here that works as an anchor, and it's every direction you press is absolutely equal. You know, like top, bottom, left, right is not, you know, up, down, top, bottom, whatever, is not, one is not easier or harder than the other. It's just the way it is. And I'm going to show you this one real quick and tell you why this one is totally flawed. And I'm tempted to mod this, but I'm pretty sure I would just mess it up. The start and select, not much going on here. It's just starts. I'm just going to leave it. It's fine the way it is. And here's a cool thing about the buttons. Every button is unique. You cannot exchange, you know, accidentally, even if nobody would notice, you cannot exchange the B button with the A button because they have 3 notches. And now these notches are strategically placed. Let me see if you can focus on this. Yeah, you can. They're strategically placed so that each slot only accepts this particular button. So like, I'll try to swap them out just so you check it out. I don't know what the point is for the American Super Nintendo, but look at that, it won't fit. It just won't fit. This is the A button going into the B, trying to troll. Look, I'm going, I'm gonna troll these guys, but no, it doesn't fit. Really cool. I don't know why they kept this for the Western American Super Nintendo. My guess is, now check it out. Look at the inside. It says, you know, respectively, it says green yellow, red, blue. Yeah, camera's kind of weird. And also lavender and purple. So basically they just used one mold for the entire world for Super Nintendo and said, okay, screw it. Just let the Americans figure out how to, you know, to print their own, to mold their own buttons. Who knows what was going on? I don't know why the American Super Nintendo colors are different. I personally prefer the colored ones, but nevertheless, this was a smart move on behalf of Nintendo to cut costs on the molds. And that's not good, I just dropped the screw. So let's take a look at this hardware. And don't worry, baby, I'll put you back together real soon. Oh man, I'm scared of breaking this stuff, just pulling it out. Oh boy, this is not sturdy at all. And I'm afraid I'm gonna like tear off the soldering. Because this is not, I can tell this is really, really like quick on the go soldering. This is not a robot. This is man-made. Still, you gotta hand it to him. I mean, this cost about, I forgot how much I paid for this, like $5, $10, something like that. Yeah, this is totally shoddy. You can tell that they try to solder it, but something happened. I mean, they tried to solder it, it probably came out wrong, and then they desoldered it, and then they soldered it again. So yeah, it's I don't know. I'd give this like a for the craftsmanship, if you could call it that. I'd give it a 4. It's not very good, especially for buying in retail. You do not want this quality. Now, yeah, this is where the chip is supposed to be. This is just a big black blob, which is very typical. I mean, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos with Nintendo games being, you know, they're comparing legit and pirate Nintendo games, and a lot of pirate stuff has this black blob, which is just covering the whatever this is supposed to be. Maybe it's a capacitor. No, it can't be a capacitor. I don't know what it is. Maybe this is a capacitor. I don't know. Would there be a capacitor in the Super Nintendo? Well, this is USB, so yeah, maybe there would be a capacitor. Anyways, yeah, this is so flimsy, I'm scared of holding it any further. Let me show you the D-pad and what the problem is with this. First of all, this is just sad. Like, again, I mean, they cut costs at every possible, like to the milligram. I mean, they would just say like, what? More plastic? We don't need more plastic. Cut that off. Like, it's like you got a scissors, and this is the original. It's like you got scissors and you just cut these off. Like, it's just, but at the same time, like, you know, this fits really well into the casing, and this is a little like wobbly. Not that it actually wobbles. I mean, when you play it, it plays fine, but still. Yeah, this is definitely lighter, cheaper plastic than this. This is like a heavy duty stuff. This is cheap. I don't know what to make of this. I mean, look at the difference. See, I mean, this is sturdier, and yet it's so subtle. Like when I was pressing the buttons, you could feel that they were just like coming back up like real quick, but so smoothly. I can't explain it. And this is just like some nubbins. I don't know. I just remember a friend's joke. Anyways, here's what I don't get. They went far enough to copy almost exactly the same, except they don't have the, you know, lavender purple stuff written. I don't know if you can check it out. It doesn't say any of that. It's just blank. But they went far enough to only, I don't know why, only on the A, maybe they only had like the one mold, only on the A button do they have these 3 knobs that, you know, so you don't accidentally swap out colors. I don't know, maybe a kid, I mean, I could only picture this scenario. Maybe a kid breaks it, they take it to a repair shop, And the guy's like, he knows everything about circuits, but he doesn't know jack about video games. So he accidentally, oh yeah, sorry, I put your red button in the, I changed the button, the colors for some reason. Yeah, that's the only scenario I can imagine. What the hell? Now it's not, now it's stuck. Now it's, what? Okay, this is, don't get stuck. Okay, there we go, that's good. Well, it's good, but it's also not good that I almost fit it into the other hole and made it upside down. That's weird, man. They have the slots for the nubs, but they don't have any others. I could swap the green with the yellow and the yellow with the blue and blue with the yellow and so forth. But I cannot use the red anywhere else. Cutting corners, cutting costs. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I have nothing else to say, but I'm gonna put these back together and let's wrap up the video. But before I do, little cherry on top. This is why original is always better than a knockoff. This little nub in here is supposed to be like this little nub in here in the middle is supposed to be sort like a half sphere. It's a half a sphere, it's supposed to be, but in the original, let's check it out, where is it? In the original, you can tell that it is. It's half a sphere, it's perfect, and here it's totally like an egg shape, and it's awkward when you try to press left and right. I don't know how to show this better, because it looks so small on camera. But anyways, it's totally uneven. Yeah, I think you can kind of see it now. It's totally uneven. It's really weird. All right, I'm gonna close these up and wrap up the video. All right, that does it. These two are back together and they both work, I think. If they don't, I'll put it in the description. Again, a message to anybody who thinks they have a non-legit Super Nintendo controller because it doesn't have the Super Nintendo logo, it has an embossed Nintendo. Forget all that jazz. Just look over here. If you're in super doubt, open it up, check out the circuitry, and you'll see that it's probably legit. The problem is there was a period of time, I think Yobo was the company, that they were licensed. Nintendo allowed them to print the Nintendo logo. Not licensed, but they allowed them. I don't know how, I don't know what legal maneuvers, but they were selling Super Nintendo compatible controllers that were not actual Nintendo controllers, but they had the logo and embossed. Big misunderstanding. Don't be afraid, you probably have a real one. Just open it up to be sure, okay? And if you can find one of these for like $5, it's cool. Get it. Just don't ever drop it where it might, like, God, it might explode or something, like shatter. Cool. Hit like, subscribe, comment, and all of that jazz. Want to see more hardware stuff, or is it all about the games? See ya.